Okay, real quick video today. I'm going to show you guys about 5 minutes from a lecture I did for Game Changers, which is a coach's clinic, but I think the information in this is relevant to every single basketball player. I quickly go into a little bit about my program where I reinforce the benefits of players watching their own games and learning how to do that and really taking the time to do it deliberately, which frankly, I don't think is being taught properly. And the other thing is, I don't think players really have a space to do that. So that's what I created. I have a space, but before I get into that, let's get into the lecture. So, why do we focus on film? I talked about the self reliant players, but let's talk about the genuine benefits of visualization. Okay, there's a very famous study. Maybe you guys have heard of this one, the free throw study. University of Chicago professor. Basically, he had three groups. I think I have it pulled up here. Let me see. I might. This is hard to see because of this thing right here. No, I can't. I can't get it. Okay, we're just gonna have to go off my memory. Anyway, three different groups. One group didn't practice free throws at all. Second group practiced for 30 minutes a day for 30 days. And the third group just went into the gym, sat on the floor, and just visualized shooting a free throw for 30 days. Okay? Now, obviously, the results, first group that didn't practice didn't get any better. Second group that did practice, they showed a 24% improvement. And then the third group, who didn't actually touch a basketball but just visualized stuff, they showed a 23% improvement. So almost exactly the same, but obviously the guys with basketball in their hands improved a little bit better, which should be no surprise. So, being the curious guy that I am, I investigated that a little bit further and I said, what's going on there? How did they run the study? What happened? Turns out that study in and of itself is kind of an urban legend. They've even asked the librarians at the University of Chicago, hey, do you have documents of this professor even being here? And they don't. So it might be an urban myth. I looked into it a little bit more. They did run similar type tests. One group in Canada ran it with 3 players over the course of a season, where they did a combination of visualization and breathing exercises in practice, and all those guys showed improvement in practice, and 2 out of the 3 showed an improvement in games. But obviously 3 guys only, small sample size, right? So then I asked, and I wanted to do some more research, and I said, okay, what are the benefits of watching film and visualizing yourself on film? And the research on this was incredible because it showed not only does it help elite athletes with pattern recognition, it helps them with court mapping, court awareness, all these other things, when to be aggressive, when to not. So your spacing, your timing, your positioning as it relates to basketball will all increase just by watching the film. Those are some concrete basketball benefits. But the other side effects, which I found really surprising, was confidence goes up, okay? Motivation goes up. Self-efficacy goes up, which is your belief that you can do things, that you can accomplish it, that you can get it done on the floor, that you go into these games, which, think about the mental preparation, okay? So just the act of watching games has all these benefits, okay? Not only with performance, like I mentioned earlier, but also these mental things: focus, concentration, motivation, belief in yourself. Super, super valuable to every single player. Okay? There's, without a shadow of a doubt, these things benefit. And what is the cost of it? What is the downside? What is the cost? It takes time and it takes focus, which in my program, I'll get into a little bit later, that is a small price to pay, and that is something we want players to work on because we are so distracted right now. We got our phones. You're learning about other signings. You're learning about what other players are doing. You're worried about what your coach is saying. You're doing this. You need to have a space and a place where you focus on yourself, on your game, and this. And watching the game film does all of that. Another side effect that just popped into my mind as I'm speaking here, which I thought was very, very fascinating. And I'm not a neuroscientist, I'm not a cognitive person, I'm not a sports psych. I'm just a dude who loves basketball. But there's this one research article that demonstrated watching your own games stimulates the same brain activity that you have while playing the game. I mean, so we go back to the free throw example where, you get a mental rep, just the mental reps. They showed the same amount of improvement as the people who shot the free throws, and that's been demonstrated. The power of visualization there. But now you're stimulating the same brain activity that you have in the game. All that does is means you're getting extra game reps simply by watching the game, time and focus, and it's so beneficial. Like, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. Let's just keep moving on. But I don't see a world where a player consistently watches their own games, and by consistently I mean they watch. In Europe, we play once a week, so you got to watch one game a week. But you do that consistently. You make sure you're focused and you watch the whole game. I don't see a world where you don't get better from that. I don't. Only thing is if when you watch you're distracted, you're not focused, you're playing with your phone, other things are going on. But if you're focused, you're locked in, you block out that time and space to do that, the benefits are off the chart. All right, if you want the benefits like that, join the study of hoops. Join our community. Okay, you can go on my website, book a free call with me. We'll talk about it, see if the program is the right fit for you, and then we'll get you on board and get you signed up, and it can really, really take your game to the next level. All right, but it has to be the player's choice. If you're a parent or a coach or a trainer watching this, bring it as an idea to some of your players that would benefit from this. But I would like to talk with them, and it needs to be their choice. Otherwise, this program, it simply will not work. Okay, but it is a place and a space where I believe every single basketball player can benefit from when they learn how to watch their own games and what to look for and every other thing that we offer inside the community. All right, I'll see you guys there.